that you would give to a young couple interested in having a strong foundation in a relationship?
Well, the first thing is, it's not always going to be perfect. I mean, from you seeing my story, you've seen that things haven't always been perfect. And that's what it really has to be. The next thing I would say is, like, people got to understand you two different people coming from two different places, trying to get to know each other, understand each other, and bring each world together to mesh it well. And with that takes trials and tribulations and difficulties and all that type of stuff. When it comes to your relationship and your marriage, you know, there's going to be breaks in communication that ain't right. But the main thing is for us to try to keep that communication clear, understand that, you know, when things ain't going right, don't bail out, because that's what a lot of people do. A lot of times they bail out of situations because they scared to fight. And it is a fight when it comes to marriage. It's a contractual agreement till death do you part. And every day ain't finna be gravy, baby. Every day, you know, the stuff that he did to get you, he ain't gonna be doing that junk 10 years later now. And you ain't gonna be doing it neither. So at the end of the day, you know, it's a give and a take. And you gotta kind of understand that, and understand that a lot of times in a relationship, the individual is trying to grow as well as grow together. And that takes time. And some people, you know, gotta deal with that and try to make it through that as well.
Wow. Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackburn 91. Rashida did not lie. I think she gave about 4 or 5 great points about her situation and how to, you know, really persevere through marriage. The problem that we have with Rashida is she is producing the right message. She's just a wrong messenger, right? She's absolutely told not one lie, but Kirk isn't the truth. Unfortunately, we have a situation where we've seen Kirk over the amount of years, and we're going to judge because of what we've seen on our screens. He has not been faithful, okay, which has led to him not being loyal, which has led to him actually disrespecting Rashida. And the fact that Rashida stays in this marriage is a bewilderment to a lot of people. Now, I can give a more psychological breakdown on my other channel, LBB Coaching. Go and sign up for that particular YouTube, where I'm going to do more coaching breakdowns. But in this one, I want to just be able to be commentating on the situation. I've seen Rashida obviously over the past few years in Lovers Hip Hop, and you know, now we've seen her in a different light, right? She's a business mogul herself, she's a mother, and she's somebody who is a doting wife. The problem that we have with Rashida is she doesn't realize her potential and her worth, and her esteem is actually shot from being in a relationship where the person actually does not respect you and love and behold and treasure you. The problem that we have with this situation with Rashida is also that she doesn't actually see, or maybe she's not allowing us to be able to know that she sees that there are actual real big issues with this relationship. Oh, we know she's been hurt. We saw this in the latest Love and Hip Hop season, where a young lady said that, you know, she had basically slept with Kirk again once more, and then she was pregnant by Kirk. And again, once more, the cycle of this dangerous, painful, hurtful dynamic of behaviors by Kirk is being accepted. The reality of the situation is Rashida is responsible for her own life and must be accountable for her own life. And so she must also hold out compassion for herself in order to make the right kind of choices. You've heard me speak about this many times. This is emotional safety. And when you don't feel emotionally safe, but you invest your emotional safety in others, you externalize it, you allow others to be the one that create the pen of safety for you, then you are willing to stay in situations that outwardly look very scary, that are not actually beneficial for you emotionally, because what you value is being in the storm and having some calm because you have that person. It's when marriage and someone else, the idea of somebody else, becomes more important than the actual person themselves and the characteristics and the values that they're actually perpetrating. I mean, if we really look at it from a real perspective, right? She gave 4 or 5 great keys. Number one, she said, you know, it's not always going to be perfect. Bang on. Number two, you know, 2 different people coming together from 2 different places. It's very difficult. 2 shall become 1. Biblical. Bang on. Number 3, don't bail out. Prepare to fight. Bang on. You know, she said, what they did yesterday, they won't do today. Bang on. Right? 4 really great keys that are actually really great for longevity of marriage and relationships. But the problem that we have is that just sustaining a relationship is not the goal. Sustaining a relationship where you are loved, cared for, and you are finding yourself in happiness. And happiness is fleeting, of course, because it's based on external things. We're finding joy in that relationship. But staying in a relationship where there's consistent disloyalty and infidelity and embarrassment and shame is actually abusive to you. And it's abusive to your children too, to witness that consistently over a period of time. Now, Kirk has to be held accountable because he's the one doing the very thing. And the reason why I say that is because there is no agreement between the two of them so far of what we've seen is that they're in a monogamous relationship. And he keeps breaking that covenant because when he got married, that is what the agreement was, right? That two shall become one, and that we will that we won't break this covenant until somebody passes away in sickness and in health and etc etc, right? So now he's breaking that very covenant by doing what he's doing. He must be held accountable. In fact, the Bible actually talks about him being held accountable, that you have torn well, first of all, divorce is about tearing obviously the I guess the two apart, and it's a violent act. But the other aspect is that your wife will cry, but you know what, you're not hearing the cries of your wife. In fact, you are the perpetrator of your cries of your wife. We can discuss that in another video. Talk about that in Malachi 2, I believe, as well, right? But what we're really discussing here is that Rashida has given us some really good tools, 4 of them, amazing tools, amazing things to consider to actually help us have long-standing relationships. But as we can see, she's in a long-standing marriage, but it's not healthy, right? And so having those tools is only one thing. We must also have an esteem and a self-worth so that we can actually begin to operate in the right frame of mind in that relationship to produce healthy offspring as well as healthy relationships as well, right? How many times has she been publicly embarrassed by Kirk while he's cheated on her, right? By her not quitting this relationship, this marriage, okay, whilst you are winning on the front of saying, I have had a long marriage, but is it successful? Well, yes, in terms of standing up long, but if it's not thriving, if it's dying within, what really is the success here, right? And so he can't stop cheating, and really and truly, he can't love her the way that she actually will need. So she's willing to survive rather than thrive, right? And this is also another aspect of teaching your kids. What we haven't discussed is Kirk's lack of accountability here and doing this, and how it's going to affect the kids, and how Rashida staying is going to affect the kids. Both Kirk and Rashida are a problem because whilst yes, we believe he's the abuser because he's manipulating, and I won't even say manipulate at this point, at any point in time. At this point in time, because he continues, the behavior continues. The children are actually learning by not what you said, by what you did. See, we learn not just by what people say. We often learn by what they do. We watch them silently and observe their behavior and say, that's what you really mean. You say you love me, but that's not what you're doing. It reminds me of the song Blue Car Trail and Paul, as well. Sean Paul, but anyway, sidetracking myself. I think here that we see is that this marriage really should be over because there is no benefit for long-standing marriage and your children are watching the mother go through a cycle of abuse. There is actually none. Like, there's none. The emotional trauma that the children are suffering. And you're going to see the benefits. Sorry, you're going to see the effects of the behavior and the things that they witnessed in the way that they operate in their relationships as adults. You're going to see it. You're going to see the daughters and the men become the very same people that are parents in this relationship right now. Oh, they may stand in long relationships too. They may be in long marriages too, but you'll witness and see how unhealthy they are as well if they don't do the work either. So that's my particular perspective on the situation. This marriage should be over because the amount of times he's gone on to cheat. And I'm definitely a believer in that, God tells us to forgive, 77 times 7. Definitely believe in that. But to a point where we're now not really considering ourselves. Rashida can smile all she wants, but being cheated on consistently, embarrassed consistently, women coming to you as a woman consistently for the world to see, let alone just your own life, yeah, it's going to be very, very painful. And you're dying emotionally inside. But let me know your thoughts down below, guys. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notifications of the uploads. We appreciate you guys well. And don't forget, we are still doing our 100 Club. Our next one is on Thursday at 8 p.m. EST. So make sure you guys join us for that. Make sure you've signed up to the 100 Club. We'd love to see you guys around. Much love, much appreciation. See you again soon.